The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
This is Africa Diaspora Connect.
Join us as we take the journey from the motherland to America.
We share our experiences and learn from them.
Here is our host, Kibathi.
All right. Welcome back to Studio 21. What a wonderful, wonderful fall day it is today. Before I get started, once again, podcasts. Folks, I'm going to channel you to get to your podcasts. All right? Like I said, this voice sounds even better when you listen to it without looking at it. All right? Let's do that, guys. Podcast, Podbean, Spotify. When you're driving to the gym, when you're driving, walking, whatever you're doing, please direct it right there. Every Monday, there's a podcast new out there. What are we doing today? I'm here ensconced amongst these wonderful, wonderful ladies over here. On my right, I got Nuji. Welcome to Studio 21. And on my left, she's been here before. I got Miss Andra.
Thank you for having me back.
All right. So what are we doing today? Both these amazing, beautiful women, married with families and what have you. We are going to take a little trip into memory lane. A few weeks ago, we did this intro into relationships and what happens behind closed doors. This is going to be that show on steroids. And you will know, and you will understand what I'm saying as we get through it.
On steroids.
On steroids.
Okay.
So I'm your host, Kibathi, and I'm going to start with a bang, with a bang, bang, bang.
All right.
Marriage, this institution. Why is it so messed up? Why? Let's call it like it is. It's a lovey-dovey feeling, but it's like a bed of roses. What do those have? There are a lot of thorns. All right? Let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100. That typical marriage lasts how long? There's that 7-year itch. And even before that, when that first baby comes, you don't even want to talk. Ladies, you talk to me. Tell me. I'll let you go first. Lead the way.
So I know we're talking about marriages, but we're just talking about relationships also, right?
Not everybody's married. We're throwing at it. Everything.
And you made a point about like that first baby comes and everything changes. Yeah. And it's funny because you see that people who aren't married, a lot of the times they don't last after they have kids, whether it's 1 or 2. They're out within that first 3-4 years because they don't have that legal binding contract that's keeping them together, right? But babies change everything. Yeah. They change everything. You're not having sex 2-3 times a day anymore. That's not happening.
Sure. That's not happening.
Right? Your boobs don't belong to you anymore. Someone else is, someone else is sucking them.
Okay.
And it's just different.
It's different.
They change things.
And it's harder. It's harder for us men. We're needy, and all of a sudden we're like the stepchild. All of a sudden,
the stepchild.
Even let's talk about relationships. Boyfriend, girlfriend. Let's bring this thing. Even forget about the kids. Yeah. What is it about just two people trying to get together and mesh as one? Why is it so hard to people to relate?
Well, I think in the beginning let's start with just ourselves in general. Yeah. I think once you bring yourself into a relationship, the successes of it is going to depend as to where you are in terms of your life, in terms of how you're perceiving yourself and whether or not you're attaining some of the goals that you're wanting to do. In life. And then once you kind of meet that person, is that person going to be that match that kind of helps you to, kind of fulfill just your own needs and create your own self-image and, together. Yeah.
Puppy love. I remember when I was 16 years old one time, you think you're in love. I'm going to marry this woman. Man, 3 months into it, I can't even look her in the face again. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
You know why?
Why?
Because you already hit it. Yeah. That's why. That's probably why. Were you guys 16? I don't know. I mean, maybe your mom's watching.
I'm African. I'm African. So, we're just born to last. And, it is. That's how we flow. And that's what it is. You're Haitians, you're Africans too. You know the drill, I'm sure. Your Haitian brothers the same way.
Yeah. So, I think people aren't honest in the beginning of relationships, honestly. I think you can only put up an act for so long, right? You got a couple months and then the real you starts coming out. You can only put on a front for so long. But people aren't honest with what they want. Like, if you start dating young, you may not feel ready. I'm not a guy, but I'm just going to speak about what I know a lot of women, including me when I dated really young, have gone through. You know, you date a guy and he's not ready for you. Sure. But you're perfect, so he doesn't want to let you go. Sure. Okay. So he's going to cheat on you. Sure. Okay. But he's like, but you're so perfect, so I don't want to let you go, so I'm just going to do this behind your back. People just aren't honest. People aren't on some like, I'm not ready. You know what it is with a lot of men?
What is it?
They want to have their cake and eat it too.
Tread carefully, because I'm an alpha male.
Okay. Yeah. So they want to have their cake and eat it too, but they want you to be loyal.
All right. Isn't that the way it should be?
That's actually
is that
especially within our culture, especially within the Haitian culture. There's a lot of that, you know, where you have like the nice girl, you know, the girl who's like the church girl, and you know that's my primary woman. Yeah. And you know, she's beautiful, and you know, they just want her to be at home, and you know, they're kind of out doing the things that they're doing. So I kind of went through that phase, you know, in my early 20s. Where, you know, I kind of was like that nice girl. Yeah. But then, you know, you gravitate towards that opposite of yourself, and you know, that can be costly to the heart.
But from a cultural perspective, the male species, right? You look around you and just look around, just the male in the animal kingdom, in the human, whatever it is, the male species, we were never ever created to have just one significant other. It's just not in our DNA. I don't care what nobody says.
I don't disagree.
You know, it's in our DNA. And look around you, right? Yeah. They're like a gazillion and a billion women, and there are only like 50 men in the world.
Sure.
Right? So I mean,
but at the same time, you know, as you're saying that, you know, you may speak to that towards like a younger version of you. Okay. But as you're growing and going towards wisdom, is what does that entail in terms of the social structure, in terms of family, in terms of children, in terms of rearing children within a relationship? You know, how do you start to kind of curb that appetite? I get it, you know, the fact that innately,
they don't curb it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But then you know, there's a trail of tears that can be left behind, you know, when you kind of, you know, you're getting into, you know, the rawness of the nature of the human being, but encountering, you know, a family structure, encountering children, and
so I guess really like it's all that matters. But I guess what for me it's is it natural, right? Because like you said.
No,
males.
Yeah.
But do you think, you know, it's funny because you hear all this like men are supposed to, or it's okay if men do X, Y, Z, and men, you know, like you said, since the animal kingdom, we've been like X, Y, Z. Women we just started having a voice like maybe yesterday.
Okay.
You don't even know what women like. You don't know what women want. They've never had a voice. You don't know if they're that much different from you.
The women want an alpha male. They want this. They want a strong man who can provide.
Okay. You know, but there are alpha females. I'm an alpha female.
I got it. I got it.
Right. Okay.
I got it. I got it. You're an outlier. You're an outlier. That's what it is. But predominantly, what do women look for? What exactly is a woman looking for from a relationship?
Everyone's different, and it depends on how you're raised.
Right. It's based on your cultural upbringing, based on your conditioning, based on your, you know, social environment, and you know, that's kind of what sets whatever mate.
Okay.
That you're, you know.
The way I view it though is, I think men, we're very overt. We kind of like, our personalities are such that we kind of, the bravado that we have. I think women, you have a tendency of doing whatever you got to do, but you're timid. You keep it to yourself. I'm sure if we opened up a woman's mind, I swear, there is just the things you guys think and what goes through your minds and what you do behind closed doors. Oh, you know what I'm saying? No, for real. It's
like just, what?
No, it's just that. No, it's just that we men, you know, we just don't know how. We brag about it. We tell our friends this is what's going on. You know what I'm saying? A woman has a way of just
because it's not culturally acceptable. That's it.
But it kind of depends on who sets that culture within your mind. Right. Who sets that culture?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So absolutely. as you're growing, and if you do have a relationship, you know, as myself and being in a married relationship, and you know, previously to that with boyfriends, I don't think I had the same maturity in terms of, you know, I'm kind of that alpha woman too.
Understood.
But I've also been exposed to very close relationships within my own family where you have the alpha woman, but then that has its effects on the relationship itself. So I've taken cues of that for myself as to how I'm conducting myself within that relationship, not to kind of subdue my own needs. Rather, it's to kind of have like a, kind of that dance of allowance of me continuing to be who that I need to be. But at the same time, having that kind of relationship that works for the two of us.
Let me ask you this. Let me actually tell you this. Do you know why we even go to school, we men? Do you know why we study so hard? Do you know why we fight for the best jobs? Do you know why we're looking for the best opportunities? It's for you women.
Yeah,
we do it
absolutely. I know.
For you. We do it for you. That's our level of attracting.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So you say, here you're saying that we do it for you.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you speak of the bravado of the alpha male, of the male who is a non-monogamy. That's the word, monogamy.
Yeah.
Like a one person.
One person. Yeah.
Right. So when you're saying you're doing it for us, where is the sensitivity also where you start to curb the appetite, where you're focusing on that one relationship? You know what I mean? Where do you transition?
I see what you're saying. So this all depends on the person. So you are coming from a cheating is wrong place. That's how you feel. A lot of women don't truly believe that cheating is wrong. You know why they don't really believe that? They hurt and they cry, but they take them back. If it's a deal breaker, it's a deal breaker. So when he's saying that we do this for women, they do this to attract women. They do this when they do find their woman in the side piece, whoever they're taking care of. They're taking care of them. Right? Because if a woman's a side woman and she's not being taken care of, that's like, you just give, like, what are you doing? That you're giving everything up for free.
We go.
Sounds like a loser.
No, let me tell you, but the thing is this. People are getting divorced because your husband went and cheated, all right? I mean, what's the fundamental? There's something that led to that. As much as we're alpha males, there is something somewhere along the way that has been broken as well.
So,
all right?
Trust.
Okay? So I mean, but why do you have to run and get divorced? To marry, you think you're going to marry a saint after the fact? Like, what do you think?
Are you? Depends. Are you asking about American women? Are you talking about Haitian women? Are you talking about African women? Because it really all depends.
You tell me your expertise. You're a Haitian woman. You tell me.
I'm not going to say expertise. I'm going to tell you what I've seen growing up.
Okay, tell me.
Haitian women, from what I've seen, older Haitian women, they very rarely divorce because of cheating.
Smart.
Right.
Smart.
They very rarely divorce because of cheating because they always say...
Our mothers never left.
Because they always say...
Our mothers never left.
I agree, because they'll always say like, oh, well, if it's not this one, it's another. As long as he's taking care of you... Just turn the other cheek because it's gonna happen.
But now you guys are making more money than we are. Okay, you guys you go toe to toe with us. You're more educated.
And that's why women are leaving.
But it all depends on as to how you're valuing your relationship with being one who's making more.
Okay,
you know what I mean. Like I was saying, you have to get to the point of a maturity within yourself where you can have that kind of compromise with your partner, where you're not kind of you're not overpowering. You're still allowing the man to embody, himself, his masculinity.
Absolutely.
And still nurturing that, but at the same time, you may be the bread, the higher grossing, person, but you can still kind of make that work.
In theory.
Right.
You see, in my culture, we have a saying. All right, a man has two stomachs.
Okay.
Two. All right, the belly and the other. And it's women. Even when I MC weddings, we make it very clear. We have the mother of the bride, who's not really the bride, and tells her daughter, who's fleeing, make sure you feed your man body and soul.
I like that.
And that's all a man is asking for. Make him feel as masculine as he is, but make sure he's fed.
I know, he's still going to cheat.
He's still not.
It's crazy.
Not
always. Right? We're not speaking for everybody.
Yeah.
Just like 90%.
You have a
They're like, feed him, give him mind, body, and soul. Just take good care of him. And it's like, yeah, of course, you could do all that. But
I think we always have a sense when we're marrying that guy. Sometimes we just don't want to admit that we're marrying that person. And
sometimes that person is attractive. That bad boy element, I think that's also attractive, right?
But doesn't that hurt? Doesn't that hurt the woman though? Right?
Well, as you said, there's women who are in relationships and then they get continually cheated on and then they continually return into that relationship.
Which means they're accepting of it. So what they need to do is be okay with it. Or at least have a don't ask, don't tell policy, or learn to have an open relationship. Stop worrying about everybody else. If you're going to keep accepting it, don't keep crying over it. That's all I'm saying. Become more accepting of it and accept that polygamy is going to it's real.
I understand. I understand the point of view, but it's only working when that person is accepting. Yes, there's other issues embodied within that person, and that's why they keep taking that person back. There's self-image issues of which they have not delved into, and maybe other issues pertaining to their childhood. Other issues that's preventing them from making that solid decision of I, woman, will not take that kind of behavior. So I think there are women who likes to play the game. They like to play the game of, that cat and mouse, my man's going to go out there and I'm just going to call my friends and we're just going to talk about it, blah, 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 and all that.
The drama.
And it's a rush. It's a rush. It's a dopamine rush for them. They love it. It just keeps going in cycles and, vice versa. There's probably other issues the man has with them and then that kind of continues. But for the woman who cries about it, or for the woman who asks for a divorce, I don't believe that that's the point of, there's other issues, there's underlying issues there. I am pertaining to self-image, I think.
Have you ever heard of the word polyandry?
Women marrying multiple men. Yes.
Women marrying
I believe there's a Malaysian culture and the Malaysian culture. I don't quote me, but I believe there's that.
Would that ever be prevalent in our African culture, polyandry?
In the African culture?
Yeah.
No. I don't think so.
I don't
think so.
I don't see that for us.
That's not, and it's such a cultural thing. Once again, it's a cultural thing.
Right.
So basically,
or a need, or a need that rises to meet something within the social structure.
And just talking about the whole grand scheme of things, women have a connection. See, we men, based on our nature, we're still, offhandish. You know what I'm saying? You could only, deliver so much. Women can get to be really close and really talk to one another and feel one another to a point where they could fall in love with one another.
I don't know. I think women have a love-hate.
It depends on the woman. Yeah. I'm not like a cliquey woman. Like you'll never see me like in a group of girls. In fact, if I'm in a room and there's a party here and there's like a group of girls, I'm on the side. I'm either by myself or I'd rather be with the guys. I do not like groups of women.
Really?
Well,
I don't.
Yeah, there's a love-hate relationship, I think, between women. We love to empower and to kind of at the same time break them down a few pegs. I'm not saying per se that I do that. I'm someone who likes to, I like to motivate. I like to see women who are empowered. But I think there's something that, we still have this kind of underlying competition, I think, with one another that doesn't, that's not fully empathetic.
Sandra, has your heart ever been broken, like squashed and just trodden upon, when you felt you couldn't even wake up in the morning?
Oh boy,
I'm waking up first of all, but I've definitely, of course, right. Yeah. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. If you haven't gotten your heart broken yet, you will. Like it's gonna happen. Yeah, of course I've gotten my heart broken, and like when you experience that kind of heartbreak, it changes you forever.
Forever.
Like you will never be the same again. You will never give as much as you've given again. Like you've got your walls up all the time. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, been there. It's a sucky feeling, but
it was. Let me tell you, and it's both ways. The perception out there is we're men of steel.
Sure,
that's a perception.
Oh, you guys are weak hunks. Oh my God! God forbid a guy gets his heart broken.
Oh my God! That's where you're ruined forever.
Listen,
I think sometimes women pick themselves up.
Listen, a guy will get caught cheating and be like, "I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Let's go to therapy tomorrow." In fact, I done already called the lady. She's gonna take us. We're going to therapy. The lady. And then if it's another way around, the guy's like, "Oh, you dirty whore! How dare you? Oh my God, I'm so heartbroken." But guys act like they don't forgive. I don't know. I think they do. I think men are in a competition as well because you never want your woman to leave you for someone else.
We are very vulnerable. We are extremely vulnerable, but we never want to portray that image because we are Superman. Right. But deep down inside, we're still 6 years old.
Sure.
Yeah.
And deep down inside, you know what we look for? We look to marry our mothers, believe it or not. In some which we want.
Yeah, I kind of think so. I think once you become mature, then you kind of look for that. But what's maturity?
But what's maturity? We're getting married at 25, 27.
Yeah,
but
absolutely. Very young.
What do you know? What do you know?
This is a question I think many women have, and I think I kind of had myself. What is the ready point? What is that point?
45.
That woman.
45.
No, not in terms of age. Not in terms of, I'm not even 45. Yeah.
So if you're 45, holds the woman. Because you guys like pretty young things.
Sure. Not in terms of age.
She should be 25.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So she's not ready, but you are.
Yeah. So what kind of defines that? What does that woman have to bring to the table for that man to kind of get to that point of releasing all that testosterone and
just don't nag. Don't nag. Give me my remotes.
Is there enough water in here?
My remote.
Throw some at you.
My television.
Are you kidding?
My beer in the fridge. And the stove is sizzling with my favorite meal. And you are always looking beautiful for me.
Right.
And we live happily ever after. Is it that the way it's supposed to be?
Does communication help that at all?
Yeah, change the channel.
My God. He's trying to push our buttons. He doesn't even believe what he's saying. There's no way.
Communicating, absolutely. It's a capital C.
Sure.
Communicate. On a serious note, communicate. It's absolutely critical.
Do you feel that, though, before you got to that point of saying, you're saying, okay, this is the ready point, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I kind of lost the train of thought there.
No. Did I do what? Do I get to a certain point when... We listen.
No. Okay.
The thing is this. I'm trying to get onto one thing. If women
were you this is it.
Yeah.
Were you very honest about yourself prior to getting to that point?
To the point.
Were you honest with with your partner, with the relationship? Like, did they know you want the remote control? Did they know you need to be over there and cooking the meal and doing all that? Were you honest about that? That's a men's
mentality. That's what it is. You need to understand. That's your father's. You saw your father's.
No. But
that's a man's mentality.
I think that's generalizing.
You never washed a dish.
That's not every man's mentality.
Dishes, they keep falling. They keep breaking dishes. So I mean, we can't even. We're not. It's our culture, the way we come. Then we come to the United States. We come abroad, and the game tilts.
Yeah.
All of a sudden now you can't hire any house help.
Right.
Because they're making more money than we are. So now we are forced to be in the kitchen. We got to do what we got. And we do it. And we handle it. When we handle it. But the thing is, you're working your doubles. I'm working my doubles. And we don't get to see each other. So there's no love making. There's no sex. We don't see each other. Yeah. And when we do, we're fighting.
Yeah.
All right? Because the kids are driving us nuts.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's that. So what's the meeting of the minds? What can be done, women? Is there a cure to this?
I think, yes, there is.
What is the cure?
Yes, there is.
And I love you. You're very reserved.
Yes, there is.
But you're poignant. Go ahead.
The cure is know thyself.
Know thyself.
Know thyself and communicate thyself. You know what I mean? If you're not having that honest conversation, I know he's like this.
Yeah.
And how can I work with him being like that? You know what I mean? If you're not bringing that to the table, of course, there's going to be breaks in communication.
There's a lot of he's like this and how do I work around him? What about she's like this and let me work around her?
It's a vice versa. It's not a one person thing.
Right.
There's the expectation that I'm a very verbal person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is who I am. I'm all day. I'll speak my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're that woman who's going to, what's the thing? A lot of times, especially in the Haitian culture, we don't speak our minds. You know what I mean? We tit for tat.
My husband always says he's going to leave me and go for somebody else who doesn't have running water because she'll appreciate him.
Hey, you should stop paying attention.
He goes, you know what? He goes, you talk back way too much. I was like, well, you knew what you were getting into. I'm just saying.
Right. But I think that creates, that can create a level of respect between the two of you. You know what I mean? Right. If you don't have that, then you kind of have a break in everything else. Yeah. Then you start to get into that point of, this one has a gripe and nobody's talking about it. And then the little thing starts to kind of piss you off. Before you know it, the food is burned and you're getting a divorce. Yeah. Because nobody talked about the other little things that led up to that point of contention. So.
I remember hearing something that said, like, we think it's communication that's necessary, but it's comprehension. Like, you can hear me out. We can talk about this all day. But if you're not understanding where I'm coming from, then it's not fixing anything.
Right. It can't be a person who's talking at. There's people who talk at you, and then there's people who speak with you. And when you're in a marriage, you have to speak with your partner, and you have to be able to allot time. We have time for everything else. You know what I mean? You have time to go to the bathroom. You have time to go hang out with your friend. You can make the time to sit down and kind of bring the love onto the table, if there's still any love, in order to kind of communicate what's next.
Let me ask you this. Why do people have to get married? Why can't people just live happily ever after without having to go confess in front of a million people?
It's a choice.
Why? I think that it's just, why do people wear rings? Why? Like, look at you guys. Look at this.
Sure.
Why?
It's a choice.
What's that all about?
It is a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice that's, the way you're conditioned, the way you're kind of brought up, the way your culture is. And, expectations is what you're taking from the culture. I've taken from that, yes, okay, all right. I've got the ring. Some people may not want the ring, you know what I mean? Yeah. But all of it, it's embodied within me that this is the expectation. While other people, in which I'm, fine with them, say, okay, it's not a marriage thing. It's a living situation. It's a respect. And that's okay too. Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah. I also think that marriage is not for everybody.
Sure.
It's
absolutely.
Just not.
That's true. That's true. Like having kids is not for everybody.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? It's right up there, Yeah. So what's up with older women and chasing this young lads? So don't tell me it's not happening. What's up with that? What's
women
yes.
Lads.
Wow. Especially when they hit that 40 mark. We call them Ben 10. It's a Ben 10. All right. What's up with that?
They missed the boat.
They missed the boat.
They kind of want to go back.
They want to go back. See
what it was like.
They want to be rocked again. Okay, what's up with that? Because you women keep saying, "Oh, you're chasing." No, it's happening everywhere.
I don't know. Maybe it just depends. Like, some women, when they get old, maybe they have a thing for younger men, and there's some women all their lives have always had a thing for older men. Just depends on the woman. I don't think I can ever see myself 50 years old with like a 20-year-old.
You don't know that yet.
I don't know that yet. I don't know that yet. You're right.
For me, it was just readiness and maturity. It, didn't really,
Yeah. Man, let me tell you something. It's a vicious circle. It's a beautiful circle. We love you guys. We love you. We adore you. But the thing is now, you just have to understand us for who we are. We are forever 16, and I'm telling you this: we are forever.
You keep telling yourself that, so you're gonna keep acting like that.
But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And so we really, like I said,
what if your woman says she's forever 21? So
are you basically?
You're okay with that?
But
I'm 16. She's 21. She's older, so she's hey, it is what.
But are you saying? Are you saying that all men come from that kind of alpha male perspective, like Simba?
A man from creation, it's the way we were raised. I'm not saying every man is an alpha, okay? But every man would like to be an alpha, even when you're not. The little man called the chihuahuas, they would like to be an alpha male.
But I think sometimes the right woman can kind of, they don't take that away from you. Yeah. Yes, they don't take that away from you. But yes, they can balance. And if I think, as I talk to my husband, he probably would have a lot of tendencies of what you're saying. But I think we've kind of had a relationship where I have an understanding of that.
Understood.
I mean, we're not saying we're like 100% perfect, but I come to the table allowing his masculinity,
and that's key,
and having him
Smart.
also allowing my space to grow. And I think as I have grown, or he's kind of not really step aside, because it's a perfect dance, but he's allowed me to grow and mature in mind, and I think that reciprocates within the relationship.
Yeah. I want to tell you something, and it's a confession. Like, I've lost the best man at my wedding. I was married. My best man passed away. It crushed me. I've lost my mom. Crushed me. I've lost my dad. It crushed me. But nothing killed me more than getting divorced.
I hear it's the worst thing you could ever go through.
There is nothing in this world that prepares anyone for the big D.
Now, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Why did it hurt you so much? Of course, you love the person, but why do you feel like it hurt you more than losing your loved ones? She's a loved one.
It's just some of us did take those vows for real. It's till death do you part. And you're blessed with amazing kids. You know what I'm saying? And then something along the way doesn't work out. And let me tell you something. Like I said, I'm comparing it. There's nothing in this world that can ever compare to a divorce.
What got you to the point where you felt...
It's not about me now. It's not about me.
Sorry. We're trying to get answers, from a male's perspective.
That will be part 3. We're going to come back for that. We're coming back. You see that? After all, I'm really soft inside. You see, you were getting there. You were about to get into my inner soul.
Yes.
You almost got there.
We need your inner soul.
You almost got there.
Let me tell you, what? I'm glad you said that.
All right.
The inner soul and the connecting with your inner soul. I think that's what you bring to relationships. I think when we're bringing the surface self, it's a recipe for a lot of... I don't want to use... It's not the word distraction, but I think it's the recipe to kind of break a lot of communication connection that I think you guys can have in order to weather the storms.
This is amazing. Now, next time I'm going to open up even more. So listen, I think there's something you're going to promote. You were going to promote something.
Oh, no. I was just, Peace and Principles. Follow it on Instagram, Facebook. Check out our website, shop, and Boston Pro Sound and Light Rental Company.
All right, it's coming. So listen, on the next show, Bondsman, Kibathi is going to be exposed. He's going to open up his heart for the whole world to see. For the whole world to see. I'm not as macho as I look deep down inside.
We need the male perspective.
I'm still a little boy.
It seems like that's what dominates everything, right?
Guys, listen.
That's what...
Please make sure to like this video, guys. This is where it's at. Subscribe. Don't forget. This is where it's at. That icon, that bell icon. Be informed. Ding dong. Always. Feel free. Email us. It's right there. I can't remember it.
And follow me on Instagram.
Follow her on Instagram. But listen, opening up next time, you're going to see the little boy come out of me. Thank you, Kibathi Katrina, coming back to an airwave near you. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Stay married.
Stay married. That's the plan. That's the plan.
That's right.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.